This is Kirsty and Chester, and we're here to do an overhead flexibility class with you. We're going to begin lying on our stomach, just nice and relaxed, and we're going to start with some breathing. So try and keep your breathing nice and relaxed, inhaling through your nose and exhaling through your nose. Think about having your tongue on the roof of your mouth and the tip of your tongue on the back of your teeth. And because you're lying on the floor, you might feel more expansion in your back as you inhale. Okay, this is great. So just nice, relaxed breathing. Coming up onto your elbows, we'll move onto head nods. So looking up, looking down. And looking over your shoulder, looking towards your heels. We're going to move on to half rolling. So arms out to the side, legs in a slight straddle. And we're just going to look over your right shoulder and then reach with your right arm. Okay, try and keep your hips down. And then the other side, look over your left shoulder, reach with your left arm. Coming up onto your hands and knees. I'm just going to rock back and forward. And then making nice big circles. The other direction. Next, we're going to do some soft tissue work, and there's a lot of different areas that you could work on to improve the movement of your arms and your shoulders and improve your overhead position. Today, we're going to look at the pecs, okay? So we're going to get these areas at the front, okay? Try and open this up, help us improve that overhead position. And then we're going to look a little bit down the side of our body, lats, serratus anterior, all that kind of stuff. So for the pecs, I like to do 2 at a time to save some time. We're going to set up with our yoga blocks, 2 yoga blocks, 2 balls. And move around until you get into these muscles. We're going to place your hands on the floor, palms facing the ceiling. And the first thing you're going to do is just sustained pressure. So just try to let the balls sink in. Taking nice deep breaths. You can move around slightly. We're going to lift our arms up and down. And then we'll draw big circles with our arms, so lifting them up and rotating them around. And back again. And you can adjust if you find your balls or your blocks are slipping. The next area we're going to look at is lats. So here we're lying over the foam roller. You can go from right up in your armpit, and you can use your legs pushing down. So you want to be getting the side, but also get a little bit more on the back side of your back. We're just moving up and down. You find a spot you can start moving this arm. And find different spots. Let's switch sides. So just begin rolling back and forward. You might find one side is tighter, more sensitive than the other side. For me, definitely this side is feeling a lot more. Finding those spots, moving your arm around. So we're just spending a minute, 2 minutes each side for that one. There's a lot of other areas we could work. We could work upper traps. We could work muscles down our back. But for today, we're just doing pecs and our lats. Moving into our stretches, we're going to start with a nice scalene stretch and stretch up some of those other muscles in our neck as well. So you're going to take your right hand, place it on your left collarbone, and you're going to use this just to kind of pin down, pull the skin a little bit as well, and then use your other hand just to create a little bit extra resistance there. From here, we can explore different positions of your head. So just looking to the side, and you feel that stretch all down here. We can lift our chin up and move around a little bit. And really it's about exploring, finding any lines of tension that you have. On the other side. You can do this for a couple of minutes. We're just doing a short stretch right now. I like to finish this off just with a few head movements, so pushing my head into my hands. Good. Just feels nice. We're going to move on to a shoulder stretch, and this is our sleeper stretch. So for this one, we're going to be lying on our side, knees bent, arm out to the side. So our arm comes out to the side, knees bent, elbow up. Now the key here is not me pushing my arm all the way to the floor. The key is going to be keeping this shoulder down. Okay, so I'm only going as far as I can keep this shoulder down. I also don't want to be feeling pinching on this side of the shoulder. I want to be feeling more of a stretch back here and deep into my shoulder. So we're keeping that down. And don't worry, I can push this further and get into a terrible position. But I want to stay somewhere where I can keep the position where I want it to be. Positioning is really important in your stretching, because if you're in the wrong shape or you're in the wrong position, then you're not stretching the thing that you want to be stretching. You're not helping yourself get into those positions that you want to get into. So before you spend 5 minutes in a stretch, or before you do a specific protocol, make sure you're in the right position. So we're going to do a fairly long hold here. Just getting comfortable in the position. Just learning to relax. Feeling that tension disappear. You can use a block or a pillow for your head if you're just feeling any kind of neck strain in this position. So this stretch is great because it gets really deep into your shoulder capsule. So you guys stay in that position. And if you think about, things being really tight deep in here, everything blocked up, your shoulder doesn't move, your arm doesn't move well in any direction. Okay? If we can get this moving better deep in here, then even though the position we're doing is this, our shoulder's going to move better in every direction. If we can get the movement, deep in the shoulder capsule better, our shoulder, all our positions become better positions. So it's a great one to start with. Okay, so now we've done our initial hold. We're going to try and push out of the stretch. So I'm taking this bottom hand and I'm pushing into my top hand. And it's an isometric contraction. I'm not allowing my hand to move. I'm just pushing in for 10 seconds. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold this top hand here as I pull my bottom arm down. And again, Chester's making it hard for you guys to see, but I'm really focusing on keeping this shoulder down. So I don't want to let, as I pull down into the stretch, I don't want to let this happen. I'm keeping this down. And then we're going to push again into our hand. You know, you get added bonus if a cat rubs his ass on your hand during this one. Good. And one more time, pulling your hand. I am pulling my hand towards the floor. Even though Chester is in the way. Perfect. So after that, we're going to relax. And you're going to focus on keeping that form, but try and get your hand a little closer to the floor. You can squish a cat. So many options. She's purring like crazy. Yep, the ass in the face. Can you hold it down for me? What the hell? Okay, so hopefully you're not being attacked by a wild animal. We'll just hang out here. Just try and relax. Every time you exhale, try and relax. You can drop your hand a little closer to the floor. Okay, let's come out of that stretch. We'll move to the other side. Really Chester's personal favorite stretch. So elbow out to the side, keeping this shoulder down. You're just starting off, bringing this arm down. Okay, again, no pinching at the front. We're aiming to feel stretch around the back and deep in your shoulder. So we're just holding it here. Just breathing. Trying to relax. Static holds are really good for learning to relax in position and teaching your body to be comfortable in those positions. The protocols that we're doing, the pushing into my hand and pulling further into the position, these are great for making neurological changes. Okay, so reducing the amount of tone that muscle is holding, but it's the time spent in the position, okay, that makes it more comfortable in that position, teaches you to be able to relax in that position, and it's that time spent there that really makes the long-lasting changes. And that's why this protocol, we're actually spending quite a lot of time in these stretches. So you can see that even just this period of relaxation, my hand has moved a little bit further down. And on every exhale, I try and relax. Okay, Chester says it's time to move on. So we're going to push our hand, our lower arm into our top arm. And then you're going to try and pull your hand down towards the floor. And again, push into your hand. And pull further down towards the floor. And more relax. You can get a lot of work on your neck to keep your head up, so I recommend putting a block or something here. We're going to take a couple of breaths on the exhale. See if you can move a little deeper into the stretch. And again, we're going to hold for a couple of minutes here.
So again, I'm really focusing on keeping this down. If that's a real struggle for you, you can have someone hold that down for you. I mean, they shouldn't be really forcing it down. It's just to kind of give you that intention and let you know what you need to do to keep that down. Good, and we'll come out of that stretch.
The next stretch we're going to do is a pec stretch. I'm actually going to use a timer for this one, so I'm not just guessing. For this one, you're going to start with your arm out to the side, and you want it in line with your head, so it's not completely out at 90 degrees. It's a little higher. If you want less pressure, you can do the same stretch on the wall. So we're lying on our stomach, your arms out so that your hand is in line with your head. And all we're going to do, keeping this shoulder down, is roll over slightly to the side. So I'm using my opposite hand as support on the floor. If I want to go a little further, I can bring this top leg over. And we're just feeling that stretch across the front here. It's possible in this position to feel a nervy stretch kind of down your arm into your hand. If you're feeling that, it's okay to kind of move in and out of that, but you don't want to be sitting in that position. So you might find if you adjust the position of your hand, you can make that go away, or turning your hand over sometimes can help. Okay, we're gonna push into the floor. So this hand, I'm pushing down. Okay, you can imagine if there is like a scale under my hand, I want it to read a higher weight. So I'm pushing my hand down into the floor. Then we're gonna lift our hand off the floor. So we're trying to lift not just your hand, your whole arm. Feel these muscles in the back of your shoulder. And again, pushing down. And lifting off. And then we take a couple of breaths. And we can relax a little deeper into this stretch. Now, a big part of stretching is really just reducing the amount of tension your muscles are holding. Okay, we're not, especially in this short period of time, we're not changing the structure of your tissue. Okay, what we're doing is changing the amount of tone in the muscle. And so the more you can train your muscles to relax, the more you can control that amount of tension, the better results you're gonna get with your stretching. So just learning to focus on your breath as you're doing it, learning to relax your muscles is a really important, like stretching is a skill and it's something that you will get better at, and the better you get, the better your results with the protocol. So And you might get pins and needles in your hands in this one. You can open and close your hand. It is okay, totally okay to come out of the stretch early, especially if you're feeling anything uncomfortable, too uncomfortable. Like, we're looking for mild discomfort in these positions, okay? We're not looking for pain. It's definitely not a no pain, no gain thing stretching. Okay, we'll slowly come out of that position. We're just going to repeat the same on the other side. So you're taking your arm out so your hand is in line with your head, and we'll stretch over to the other side. When I did gymnastics as a kid, we used to have a giant sign on the wall. Someone written in pen that said, "No pain, no gain." But for some reason, the A got rubbed out, so it said "No pain, no gin." And as a kid, that was hilarious. But I'm definitely not a believer in that no pain, no gain philosophy. Meow. Neither's Chester. So a little bit longer here, and then maybe another minute. This is start position. These longer stretches can definitely be a test of your patience. Okay, we're going to start with our pushing down. So pushing your hand down into the floor. And then trying to lift your hand off the floor. So I lift it up. And pushing down. And lifting up. And then we'll finish with another long hold in this position. And then coming out of that stretch. Good, so let's move our arms around. Good. Shake them out. For this next stretch, you're going to need a stick and a bench or chair. We're going to hold the stick in a reverse grip with your hands about shoulder width apart. And you're going to place your elbows up on the bench. So the key with this one is we want to think about lengthening the distance from your elbows to your butt. And the goal is not to let your back arch. So we want to keep that slight tuck butt. We want to keep our ribs down. So this position stays here. What we're working on is this last part of the movement. Okay, and you're going to feel a lot in here as well as in that shoulder. Okay, so same protocol. We're going to get into that stretch hold for a couple of minutes. So my elbows are on the bench. Okay, I'm keeping this spine position and I'm sitting back. And my goal is to try and lengthen from my elbow to my butt. Sit that up. Again, if you feel pinching in this one, then don't do it. You can change the stretch to be, with your arms this way, with like the external rotation, see if that feels better. This stretch is pretty intense. So right now, we're just breathing in that position, trying to relax, trying to get comfortable. It can be a lot of work to maintain that spine position, to keeping your ribs down, keeping your butt tucked, but it's important that you do that. If you can't do that, then it's better to come out of the stretch. Okay, so we're going to start with our first push out of the stretch. So I'm pushing down with my elbows into the bench. So pushing down, again, trying to maintain that position. And now I'm trying to pull the stick apart. So I'm trying to move my hands away from each other. Yeah. And then trying to push my elbows down again. There's a bird outside that someone wants to have for supper. Pull the stick apart. It's not me, it's Chester. Good. Relax. Take a couple of breaths. On your exhale, sit back, try and lengthen from your elbow to your butt. Try and get your butt as far away from your elbow as you can. This is one of the best stretches for your handstand. My overhead position always feels so much better. I think that was it. Keep your ribs in. Keep your ribs down. Nudge. From Chester. Good coaching right there. And come out of that stretch. Let's move your shoulders around. So I like to finish all the classes once we've increased our range of motion. I like to use that range of motion because it's that moving in that range of motion and working in that range of motion that's going to create long-lasting change. So right now we've worked on that overhead position. So doing some handstand work would be a good idea right now. What we're going to do is just work on some shoulder movements and see if our shoulders are feeling smoother than they normally do. So I'm just going to kneel for this one. I'm just going to start with some shoulder circles. So coming up, squeezing your shoulder blades together, slowly bringing them down, and then coming forward. And just really trying to smooth that movement out. If you find those parts of the movement, so calling places back and going down, where maybe it jerks or jumps, slow it down and smooth it out. So come back, slow it down. Okay, if you find that you get to here and it drops, okay, try and slow it down. And we'll do the other direction, so forward circles. Be mindful of things like your elbows bending. Every time you bring your shoulders up, your elbows bend. Maybe your shoulders are not moving as much as you thought. We'll do the same. We're going to take our arms out so we're not straight in front. Slight angle, same thing. Go up, back, down, forward. Just drawing nice big circles with your shoulders. And the other direction. We're going to do some closed chain movements, so with your hands on the floor. Okay, we're going to do the same thing. So we're going to push up, elevate, down. Okay, so we're just going through all those different shoulder positions. One thing to be mindful of when I'm protracting, okay, when I'm pushing down, okay, my shoulder blades are coming from the center, so from retraction, they're coming around, okay? I'm not going into this spine flexion, okay? So it's not here, okay? All it is a shoulder blade movement, so over here, and then elevate, down, and the other direction. So there's a flow that I posted on Instagram that will go really nicely at the end of this movement sequence. So I'll share that in the video description. It's also a good time to practice handstands. Your handstands are going to feel really good after doing this class. So practice your handstands, do some flow, move your shoulders around. Best way to make those changes. Hope you enjoyed the class. I will see you next time.